Couch Guys Sports Podcast, episode number 227. Nick Quaglia, Gerrit Scali, and we've got a loaded show this week. We've got Tom Brady making his return to New England, and plus saying some funky things, which I want to talk about too. We're going to talk about that in the middle of the show. We've got Stephon Gilmore. We record this today, Wednesday. We were recording a day late because we wanted to get the Red Sox Yankees game in. Stephon Gilmore. This morning, we learned that he was going to be cut, and then they trade him. And his preferred destination was the Packers. Getting calls from Davante Adams, trying to go to the Packers, and he ends up with the Panthers for a 6th-round pick in 2023. So not even next year, 2023. And then, lastly, and this is going to be a majority of the show, a chunk of the show, we got Red Sox Yankees wild card reaction. And now, baby, we're an ALDS preview.
They're in it, baby.
Last time I spoke to Jared last week, and I'm not gonna fault him. I'm not gonna fault him because we all felt this way. If you lose 2 out of 3 to the Orioles, Jared was talking about his end of the year goodbye Boston Red Sox. Thanks for trying. He's gonna talk about that into the triangle.
Didn't have to happen.
Look where we're at now.
Now we're talking about a divisional series.
We're talking Nate Eovaldi shoving it down the Yankees' throats.
Gerrit Cole, 2 innings. What are we doing, Gerrit Cole?
Choking all over himself. We're going to talk about that. And guys, as always, the wonderful Couch Guys Sports Podcast program presented by our friends over at MANSCAPED. All right. So let's talk about Gilmore first. Let's get that one out of the way. It's not going to take too long. Stephon Gilmore, as we know, was on the PUP. Was set to come off, I believe, week 7. That's when we all just assumed he was going to be coming off. He's got his banged up quad, the whole thing. And they're talking about on ESPN right now. And Bill apparently said, hey, pal, look, thanks, but no thanks. We're going to part ways. We're going to dip. We're going to end this situation we got going on here. What do you think about that? What's your reaction to Stephon Gilmore no longer being with the New England Patriots?
Matter of time, really. They probably should have done this last year, to be honest. I think they're a little late on this one. But it sounds like to me because what we're hearing is that he's not expecting an extension this year, and he's willing to play under his contract for the rest of the season with the Panthers. Mind you, he's from Carolina, by the way.
And he's a Gamecock,
he's a Gamecock. Yep. So he's been there most of his life.
Yeah.
So like, I look at that and go, okay, if he was willing to finish the season under that, which is what he would have done if he stayed here, he's supposed to come back week 7. Was it just a matter of you needed to clear cap space because you just re-signed Jamie Collins and you went to the obvious decision and said, hey, can you restructure this contract so we can fit Jamie in? He said no. And he said, all right, then let's just figure this out now then. We'll cut bait. Like, I think that was a big reason for this. Like, I don't think it was I'll play I'll play this contract for the Panthers, but I don't want to play it here anymore. He even said, like, I'll play it out. Like, I think it was a matter of they just brought back Jamie Collins and they needed to fit it in. And Stephon Gilmore didn't want to restructure again. So I think that's why this happened.
So this is from Ian Rappaport 10 hours ago, 8:04 a.m. The Patriots were open to giving Stephon Gilmore a raise, but wanted to see him healthy. Instead, he went on the PUP list as he recovers from his quad injury. That tension lasted until released today. And then Mike Giardi basically saying the same thing. Gilmore was open to taking a sweetened 1-year deal per source, much like he did a season ago. I've reached out to several of his teammates already this morning, and none were aware. One responded, quote, damn, that's crazy. And then he followed that up by saying, Gilmore recently had a checkup, and there is nothing wrong with the quad that he tore late last year, per sources. So with that, so it sounds like Stephon Gilmore was healthy, and he would have been able to come back this year, which is great. And I think it does have a lot to do with the Jamie Collins move. Like, if you want to bring Jamie Collins back, then you're going to have to clear up some room. Stephon Gilmore obviously not playing. And, you know, because people like to overreact about everything. People like to get upset about everything. And would I have liked to have Stephon Gilmore on this team? Of course. Here's my big thing. I don't think this is a Super Bowl caliber team.
No,
I don't. So I don't know if I'm necessarily like, I'm not upset. Like, I don't think this team's going to contend for a championship by any means. They might not even make the playoffs. They're 1-3 right now. So I'm not too worried about Stephon Gilmore no longer being on this team because I don't think he was going to be on the team next year. You bring back Jamie Collins, he helps you now. Stephon Gilmore was not going to come back till week 7. And I don't fault the Patriots for not wanting to give Stephon Gilmore another contract without seeing him healthy. This is a serious injury. You want to give this guy an extended deal when you don't know what he's going to look like when he comes back after a torn quad? That just it doesn't make sense.
And Bill made a comment. Bill made a comment today too when someone asked obviously about it, and he just said basically the lines of, we just stopped the top passing offense pretty comfortably. Like they're confident in what they got going on. J.C. Jackson's your number one guy. It's been that way, and they clearly, after watching what they saw this weekend against the Bucs, right? They're comfortable with what they have, and they don't feel like they need Gilmore for where they are. So they said, "Screw it, let's just do it now." Is what it is. Like we all kind of saw this coming, Nick. Like this wasn't something that we're like, "Oh well, why is Stephon Gilmore not staying here for 5 more years?" No, we all assumed he'd be traded before the season even started. He just never was.
Yeah, like I'm not too upset over losing Stephon Gilmore. Like again, it sucks. He's one of the best cornerbacks in the NFL. We don't know what he's going to look like when he comes back. If he looks great when he comes back, awesome, good for him. Glad for the Panthers. I'm half rooting for the Panthers this year. I think that's a cool story right there. I think it's cool that Sam Darnold looks good. I think their defense is obviously awesome. I like Christian McCaffrey a lot. I'm kind of rooting for the Panthers this year. They'd be a cool story to go on and make some noise. Great. But the Patriots have these guys in place. J.C. Jackson is shaping up to be what was he ranked in the top 100? It was very high. Wasn't it like 39?
It was in the 30s. Yeah.
Yeah. Like J.C. Jackson's a very good defensive back. I'm fine with him being your number one. Would you want to pair him with Stephon Gilmore? Yeah, of course. But again, it's when this team isn't championship caliber, I have a tough time getting upset over this. I do.
Yeah. If they were like in the middle of, if they were like 3-1 and thinking about playoffs and seeding and Super Bowl, it's like, no, you keep them. You let him play out because you have a chance to do something special, but like you don't. And then he's probably gone after this year anyway. So like the hardest part here is that like in his you could tell in his Instagram story, he's like in his post, he like was kind of like reluctantly he didn't want to leave. Like I think he would have been happy to stay here. He really liked it here. But I also applaud Bill for not giving this dude a lot of money when he hadn't seen it. Like that, I think that's what Gilmore's big ask is Gilmore wants all this money, but he hasn't played healthy yet. And it's like, okay, just go play healthy for like 6 months and they'll probably give it to you because he's clearly dishing out money at this point in his coaching career. But like, you just got to go do it, dude. So I don't know. I wouldn't be shocked if he ends up signing like with Carolina long-term because he's home, right? And that's kind of might be where he's comfortable.
Finish out his career there.
Yeah, especially if the team's decent. Like,
yeah. Now, here's a question.
I was just hoping he didn't go back to Buffalo.
Yeah. If Tom Brady's here, do you think that they figure something out with Gilmore this year?
100%.
Yeah, because that's a championship team.
Yep, 100%. And that being said, though, let's be real. I don't even know if like, and I'm not trying to do this to like make Mac sound like amazing, but Mac isn't the reason why you're losing these games. But like at the end of the day, if you have Brady, your expectation is always to win a Super Bowl, no matter what your team looks like. So you get something done with Gilmore because you got to keep Brady happy. Like that's almost what you do at that point. Right.
And I do think you're a championship caliber team because, you know, Mac's a rookie, but I think Tom Brady figures this thing out much. I mean, to be real, if you have Tom Brady on this team, I think you're at least 3-1 right now. At least.
With the weapons you have.
4-0 because you're not facing Tom Brady in the Bucs.
You're not facing
somebody else in the Bucs.
You're facing somebody else in the Bucs. You're facing the same Saints team, which a lot of that, you know, I think would get figured out. The Dolphins game you win, the Jets you blow up by even more. So like, you're probably 4-0 if you have Tom Brady with this roster.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. They're talking about this on ESPN right now, so I wanted to mention this. And I mean, do you have anything else to say about Gilmore?
I really appreciate what he did. It was 4 years, right? He was here for 4 seasons.
Yes.
He won a Defensive Player of the Year. He helped us win a Super Bowl. That play, AFC title game against the Jaguars, my God, that play.
I was at that game. I was on that end of the field.
Like,
it was awesome.
Oh, like never a bad thing to say about Stephon Gilmore.
What a class act. One of the best defensive players that I've ever seen in my
one of the best free agent signings Bill's ever made in his coaching. Like,
yeah, and you knew it was going to be too because he jumped on that immediately. And remember, it didn't start out great when Stephon Gilmore first started with the Patriots. It wasn't good, but he figured it out and became the best defensive player in the NFL, the best defensive back in the NFL.
Was there a time there where Gilmore and Butler were together?
Yeah.
There was that one season.
Was it only one or was it two? Because they went to the the year they went to the Super Bowl, Gilmore was on that team. The year that Butler sat out.
Yeah, so that was Butler's last year. I think it's only one. I think that might have been Gil.
Because Butler wasn't with the team against the Rams, obviously.
No.
Okay. And we're not going to talk about this much, but this Urban Meyer situation is absurd.
Wild. He's married, right?
Oh, yeah, he's married. Oh, yeah. There's a picture of him and his wife on the wall.
Yeah.
At the restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
It's his restaurant. That's his bar. That this whole thing happens. If you guys don't know what happened with Urban Meyer over the weekend. So the Jaguars play last week on Thursday Night Football, right? Typically, and they're away. Typically, you play that game and you go home. Typically, you play that game and you jump on a plane, you guys go home, all as a team, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not the head coach.
Not Urban Meyer.
Urban Meyer decided to stay back and hang out and go to his bar. Spending the weekend there, you're taking a couple days off. You got Thursday Night Football. Yeah, whatever, sure. But as the head coach, dude, you got to fly back, especially after a loss, especially when you guys haven't won a game yet.
You go back with the team.
You go back with the team.
You go back with the team.
Not only that, this girl is grinding on him. Listen, Urban, I don't get celebrities. I don't understand celebrities because Urban Meyer is a celebrity, at least in the sports world, right?
Of course he is.
When you, especially in Ohio, when you're
rocking
an
Ohio State quarter zip, like
when you are at your own bar and you're in the state of Ohio, you're going to be recorded. If that is happening to you, you're going to be recorded. I don't understand why he would ever do that. And then he's taking pictures with people.
He just sat there and took it up in the air. I'm like, what are you doing?
He started putting fingers in places.
Yeah, fingers. There's a screenshot of a finger in a place. Like, what are we doing? Like, Urban, come on.
Oh my God. Unbelievable.
Okay, and then can we also just say, side note, what a joke of an organization the Jaguars are? I would have fired him on the spot.
You have to.
You're 0-4 and this happens. You're like, you're not focused. You need a new coach. Sorry, this isn't working.
Reports are that he got laughed out of the room when he tried to talk to his players about it. Laughed out of the room. He did his speech, shut the door, and the second he shut the door, team laughed at him.
Yeah,
he's got no respect in that building.
He's got no respect in that locker room.
No, go to USC. He's a college coach. Go to USC.
They're screwing up Trevor Lawrence already. It's a joke. Urban Meyer won. I don't know if he should have ever been hired, but like I wouldn't have hated it. But he's not taking it seriously.
He's got to go to USC.
He's got to get out of the NFL. He can't do it.
I think. Listen, he might be trying to get fired.
He might be.
He might be. That USC job opened up.
It's still open too, right?
Yes,
it's still open. Yeah.
That's the perfect gig for Urban Meyer. The second that he is looking for a new job, if
fired.
That job's open, he's getting that no questions asked. And he might be trying to get fired. That might be the move here. That might be what he's trying to do. He might be trying to get fired, which might not be a terrible move for him. All right. So that's the Urban Meyer talk on this show. Patriots, Tom Brady. And it's a couple days old now, so we don't have to spend too long on it. Patriots had Tom Brady come to Gillette Stadium. First question. Fans' reaction. Perfect. Exactly what I wanted.
And that's funny because you have a lot of people coming back like all the time. I mean, the city loves its athletes that do well, right? So like you hear about when Manny comes back into the stadium or like all these guys, but it's like you did exactly right. When the ball's not being played, when the game is not had started, you can give whatever ovation you want to Brady because he deserves it. He's the GOAT. He won you 6 championships. But as soon as that ball snapped, the boo birds rained down from the heavens, and it was perfect.
It was beautiful. That's like you said. That's exactly what you wanted. That's exactly what you wanted from this. Because I was genuinely concerned that like I'm pretty sure thinking back to the Brett Favre reaction when he went back to Green Bay, they were still cheering him when he was throwing the football for the other team, which is what I was nervous that people were going to do that, but they didn't. He came out. Well, yeah,
because you showed up how many like split jerseys and all that stuff. That's what scared you.
Oh my God, I hate the split jersey. I think it's so lame. Not a split jersey guy, but hey, do your thing. Do whatever you want. Don't listen to me. the Tom Brady coming out of the tunnel and getting all of those cheers, hearing the plays loud, that was great. It was better that when Mac Jones came out, according to all the reports that I saw, the place was louder when Mac Jones came out. That was like, hey, dude, thanks for everything you did, but this is our guy now.
This is our guy now. I did enjoy that Brady did do his rundown, let's go, on their sideline, got the fans jacked up. Like, it was nice to see that one more time because he's not playing at Gillette Stadium again. Like, that was it. So
hey, we're gonna. He said at the end. He said in the press conference, you never know what's gonna happen.
He's gonna retire on one day. He's not gonna play here. He's gonna retire a Patriot.
You don't know what's gonna happen.
If he's back playing, that means Mac Jones didn't work out. We don't want that.
We'll talk about that at the end of this because we're hitting the timeline here. Now, you get into the game, he gets booed. Great, awesome. That's exactly what you wanted. Bill, and we talked about this last week, and we said the one thing that could help the Patriots win this football game is if Bill Belichick knows how to stop Tom Brady, and it looks like he knew how to stop Tom Brady.
Oh yeah, I mean,
0 touchdowns.
There were some bad throws on Brady's part. Antonio Brown dropped one that should have been a touchdown at the end of the game.
Absolutely, yeah.
Just a dime to Antonio Brown at the end of the game. I saw, and they were driving down that drive-through, and I'm like, oh, here comes Tom. Crap.
Well, so that was the thing when Nick Folk went for the final field goal. I looked at the clock. I think it was going to be 53 seconds left.
I was like, they're still going to lose.
Too much time.
Like we know how that works. 53 seconds with one timeout. That's a winner for Brady. All he needed was a field goal, even if Folk made that. So
we've seen it 1,000 times.
Yeah, we the Saints. Remember that Saints game? The last time they came in.
Yeah.
Like, come on. Like, they probably still would have lost even if Folk made that field goal.
Yeah. Which, by the way, sucks for Nick Folk because he was on pace to break that record for the most consecutive field goals. He's been automatic, and he almost hit that. He almost hit a 56-yarder in the rain to continue that streak. So, like, you can't be too mad at Nick Folk. That was a difficult kick for him to hit.
I think it was the right decision, though.
I do, too. It does suck when you rewatch that final play. Mac had Jacoby Myers open over the middle.
Oh, the one that was tipped? Yeah.
The batted ball. The
batted ball. And they ran that play early in the game, too. Like, it was like in the second quarter. There was no one near Jacoby. Jacoby makes that catch if that ball gets through. They're in field goal range. They can run the ball a couple times.
He probably gets some yak. Probably gets some yards.
I was to say he might be. They might be like almost at the end zone with that. I'm not even like he was that wide open.
Dude, he was open.
He was by himself. Like, it was insane. There was no, you did like a screenshot. It was one of those that looks like you like photoshopped the players off of the screen because there was nobody near him.
Kind of like Aaron Judge coming home last night, and you look at when Plawecki had the ball in his glove. He wasn't even in the frame yet.
He wasn't even in the frame yet. That's just exactly that's how open Jacoby Myers was.
It was unbelievable. But yeah, I mean, overall, and that's like, if you can take away something from the game, you take away that Mac Jones looked good. Like, sure, you're 1-3, and by the way, these Cam Newton people, stop it.
God.
It's not Mac Jones's fault that they're 1-3.
It's everything else.
It is, and guys, he's a rookie. With Cam, you weren't going to win this year anyway. We saw that. Mac knows what he's doing. I think Mac is going to be a very good quarterback for this team, I believe. I just don't think Cam was able to be that quarterback for this team anymore. I just don't. I don't think he has what you need to be an NFL quarterback anymore. I just don't think he's leading a winning team. Sorry. But
notice how he's sitting at home making YouTube videos. Like, he's done.
Yeah, with Dan O'Brien Kia. Is that the guy?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
I don't understand. What does Dan O'Brien have going on with the Patriots? Because he's also got a podcast, I think, with Rob Ninkovich.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't understand the relationship with that dude at all.
No idea.
It makes no sense.
None whatsoever.
Because you know what? I never watched the Cam Newton videos before, and then when he had one, I forget exactly which one it was, but he was in the back of a car, and I saw that Dan O'Brien. I was like, "Is that the guy from the car commercials? What is he in the backseat of the car?"
Funky Friday.
It's so dumb. But, I mean, Mac Jones overall, 31 for 40, 275 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Now, the offensive line is terrible. It's absolute garbage.
Garbo.
It's terrifying. The run game, you know how many yards they got on Sunday?
It was like -2.
They got -1 rushing yard.
So, I'm going to give him a pass on that one. You want to know why?
Because the offensive line sucks?
The offensive line is garbage, and you're playing one of the best run defenses in the league. Like, what do you expect?
Yeah, that's a terrible combination, and especially it doesn't help going into Houston this weekend when you got Isaiah Wynn and I can never pronounce his name. Owenu. They're both down with COVID now, so now the left side of your offensive line is effed up.
Oh, you're porked. And Isaiah and what's his face? Trent Brown still's not playing at practice.
Trent Brown's still not practicing.
So that's fun. Good thing they're playing Houston this week and not Dallas.
I know, but I'm not even confident they're going to win this game.
They'll beat Houston. Houston had a flash in a pan. Mac Jones is figuring it out. They're putting up points this weekend. I can't even watch it, but like,
here's the thing. I don't think if Tyrod Taylor is the quarterback, I don't think they win this game.
But he's not.
Don't
you miss the days when you didn't have to say that out loud? If Tyrod Taylor was the quarterback of the other team, I think we lose.
I know. We're not in a good spot here. But again, I think Mac Jones overall is going to be a very good quarterback for this football team.
They have their guy. That's the only thing they don't have to worry about right now.
Yeah, they have their guy of the future. Something else that I want to talk about with Mac Jones is, I love that it was super impressive that he was getting his shit kicked in by the rush. He was getting rocked. He was getting smoked. His offensive line was letting everybody through. But it didn't rattle him. Like, he was still standing there in the pocket. He didn't look scared. Like, this is why I'm excited about this kid. He's tough.
He gets it.
He can play football. He gets it. But at the same time, we know he's got some legs on him. Move. Get out of there.
I mean, to be fair, he did when he needed to, though. Like, he did when he could. Like, there were times where he had no way out. Like, there were some times where they just missed the block and he got laid out.
Yeah, but there were some times where it felt like he was like, okay, I'm a pro quarterback. I'm not moving. I'm staying in it. You know who does that too much? Carson freaking Wentz. You know what Carson Wentz happens to him? He's hurt all the time.
All the time. Jimmy Garoppolo does the same thing. Look, for what we've seen so far, though, like, he made a couple nice plays this weekend, like sidestepping some free runners to make plays, pushing up in the pocket. Like, I think he has the awareness to know what he's supposed to be doing. I'll give him a few more weeks before I start criticizing some of the little things that basically it's because he's a rookie. Like, I'm not worried about that. And then you even saw it. Like, they made a comment during the game broadcast, like when Brady rolled out to avoid a blitz, when Brady made that throw on the run, which, like, vintage Brady, right? Mac did the same thing later on after they're like, well, this is what Mac will learn. And then he did it. And they were like, oh, I guess he can already do that. Great. He's ahead of schedule. Like, I'm not worried about Mac Jones. But the problem is they're trying to win football games while developing a quarterback. So they're in that tough decision of like that 4th and 3 or whatever it was, the end of the game, right? When they made Folk kick it. They probably were protecting him a little bit. Like, they could have if that was Brady, they go for it.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
They should have gone for it. I'm not mad at the kick by any means. Like, if you made it, everyone would have been happy, but like, they were moving the ball. Mac, they weren't touching Mac.
No, they weren't. And and again, it sucks that ball was batted down. Like, great defensive play, because it had a wide open Jacoby Myers, and that's at the point where you're like, okay,
that's the game.
If they complete that ball, you run down the clock, like you said earlier. You run down the clock, you kick it, you win the game. You beat Tom Brady.
Yeah,
and
that game's over.
This game, if the Patriots beat Tom Brady, this game is much more talked about after the fact. Much more.
Yeah, it's already over. It's over. Well, they did what they're supposed to do. He went home. He commented on the home team, and that's it. Now he's gone. But if they won, Bucs go to 2-2 because of the Patriots.
Yeah, Patriots and Bucs have the same record. 2-2.
Big conversation this week.
I don't really know what else there is to talk about with this game. The Steve Belichick gif is hilarious. With his tongue hanging out. I don't get. Is he calling the defensive plays?
Yes, 100%. But he doesn't want to. I just guarantee you, he doesn't want to give his son the defensive coordinator title. So he's not.
The defense does look good. The defense.
I also think Gerard Mayo has a hand in it. Like, I don't think it's just Steve.
Yeah, I mean, and we don't really know how Steve Belichick's going to be as a coach going down the line. We don't know if he's ever going to be a head coach, but
he's got to be great in the bedroom, though. Oh,
Jesus fucking Christ! You know what? You know what? Thank you for saying that, because you know what we can do now. That's a decent segue.
It's a pretty good segue. It wasn't on purpose, but
no, we can talk about our friends, guys. The great people, the phenomenal people over at MANSCAPED.
They appreciate some Steve Belichick. That's for sure.
They do. They appreciate some Steve Belichick. Guys, it's football season, baby, and you know what that means. It means we're going for two here with the sponsors of today's show, Manscaped. Blitzing through hairs has never been easier. And it's time you join the 2 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped by using Couch Guy 20 at manscaped.com for 20% off with free shipping. It's 3 and out the window with all the other trimmers. Now go tame that Wildcat offense. I've talked about this 1,000 times. I was younger. I had some scissors. I was like, hey, this is how you manscape. This is the only way you can manscape. Boom. Clip something you don't want to clip. I'm talking about my nutsack. Not ideal. If I had the Manscaped trimmer, that doesn't happen. Guys, the world is starting to open, and the Performance Package 4.0 from Manscaped is here to help you get ready. Inside, you'll find their brand new Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer, Weed Whacker, ear and nose hair trimmer, Crop Preserver, ball deodorant, Crop Reviver, toner, plus 2 free gifts, Performance Boxer Briefs, and the Shed Travel Bag. The Performance Package 4.0 from Manscaped is the perfect package for your package and a key for a great grooming and hygiene routine to make sure the boys downstairs are smooth like Tom Brady in the fourth quarter. The brand new Lawnmower 4.0 is here to take your defense to the next level. Emphasis on the D. This 4th generation trimmer features a cutting-edge ceramic blade to reduce grooming accidents thanks to their advanced skin-safe technology. The Lawnmower 4.0 has a 7,000 RPM motor, a new multi-function on and off switch that can engage a travel lock, and gives you the ability to turn the 4000K LED spotlight on and off when needed for a more precise shave. Did I mention this trimmer is waterproof too? Rain, snow, or sleet are no match for the waterproof power of the 4.0. There's no 15-yard penalty for clipping. The package also comes with the Weed Whacker. The Elite Nose and Ear Hair Trimmer is also waterproof and uses a 9,000 RPM motor-powered 360-degree rotary dual-blade system. This trimmer also has proprietary skin-safe technology, which helps prevent nicks, snags, and tugs in those delicate holes. Guys, after trimming your football, show them some love with the Manscaped's liquid formulations. The Crop Preserver Ball Deodorant and Crop Reviver Ball Toner are here to take your balls game to the next level. We have an exclusive offer for our audience. Get 20% off with free shipping with the code CouchGuy20 at manscaped.com. Manscaped also threw in 2 free gifts to their Performance Package 4.0. The Manscaped Boxers, I used them this weekend during a golf tournament, and they were phenomenal. And the Shed Travel Bag. Listen up. Last time I'm going to say it, guys. Get 20% off with free shipping with the code CouchGuy20 at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com using the promo code CouchGuy20. Stiff arm your pubes out of the playoffs this year with Manscaped. Once again, thank you to our friends over at Manscaped. All right, so we're going to talk about this real quick. Then we're going to get into the Sox. Because the Sox had a pretty big game last night. Pretty big game. Tom Brady, did he leave the door open to coming back to the Patriots in the future?
Yeah, as a retired old man.
We know Tom had a secret meeting with Bill Belichick after. There were some reports that the reporters were standing there in the hallway, and all of a sudden comes Bill Belichick, and he walks into the away locker room. Some of the players are like, oh, my God, it's Bill Belichick. Why is Bill Belichick in here? He starts having a little one-on-one conversation with Tom, but it lasted approximately, I think they said 23 minutes or 33. I think it ended with a 3.
It was 23, sir. 23
minutes. We saw a hug on the field post-game that was, okay. Oh, it was okay. At least they hugged. It wasn't it wasn't an embrace. Like Josh McDaniels, I thought he was going to start making out with Tom on the field. Bill just, good game.
Well, Bill knew he had 23 minutes coming.
And then they had a 23-minute conversation. First time they've spoken face-to-face since Tom left. And then post-game, I want to see if I can pull this up. Post-game, they were asked about, Tom, how does it feel that this was your last game as a member, as a football player in Gillette Stadium? And Tom didn't discount this being his final game in Gillette Stadium. You never know what's going to happen. And I'm trying to stall while I find this.
It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. You know what gave me more clarity that we knew that meeting was, they knew that meeting was happening though, is that they released the NFL films or whatever from the mic'd up. And at the end, when they gave him that quick hug, when Brady and Belichick at midfield, like, it was like yeah, I'll see you. Like they knew they planned that meeting ahead of time. And so Belichick strolled over.
Of course they did, yeah.
I wish Brady had the cojones to come over to the home locker room, but no, Belichick had to be the better guy and go all the way to the Bucs locker room. But look, I think it's funny too, because now a lot of their comments are like, the book. We saw the book. This guy doesn't have really any sources. We don't know who they're talking to. We have a great relationship. Blah blah blah. And they're both saying the same thing. So like, do you think now they're just trying to mend fences and kind of hide the fact that this was all true? Do you believe the fact that Brady and Belichick maybe are just didn't have as much of an issue as we thought, and they just saw the writing on the wall, and Belichick saw that Brady wasn't going to be happy because they weren't the better option? Like, they're both saying the thing of like, well, we have a great relationship. I don't know what they're talking about. I didn't even talk to the Seth guy. Like, whatever.
Yeah, and I'll be honest with you, the Seth Wickersham book, I'm so back and forth on whether or not like a lot of these stories are true in there. Like, Bill's refuting it immediately. And we talked about this on last week's show. You know, two people I'm just tired of hearing from. Like, I just don't care what they have to say. No, but it's in Tom Brady's camp. I don't care what Tom Brady's dad has to say. Like, can we stop interviewing
or Alex Guerrero?
Or Alex Guerrero. Like, I don't care what either of them have to say. Alex Guerrero, like, thanks for being Tom Brady's trainer, but I'm starting to feel like this guy thinks that he's more like
important than Tom. Like, no,
more important in this situation than
you're going to jail without Tom. Like, you've had lawsuits, you've had issues. Like,
hey,
Tom, you're probably in prison.
Hey, you might be right. I'm not
like,
going to say you're wrong. You might be right.
Look, even Brady has said, I don't know what all you guys are being said of this, but everything that I've seen isn't really true. You guys don't have the accurate information about our relationship. Even Brady has said something, and he doesn't always say stuff about that kind of stuff. So look, I'm just gonna sit here and believe that they had issues at the end, but it wasn't as big of a deal as media members in the city are making it out to be. Nick and I had a private conversation about how we feel about Boston media earlier. I'm getting a stare down if you're not watching the video. And look,
I'm trying to find the Tom Brady video
where everything spun negative, and I'll believe there was a little bit of a rift, Nick. That's why they didn't make it work, right? I'm not saying it was perfect, but I think that the negativity and the point of, the relationship was awful, they hated each other. That's not true. There's no way it was true, or it wouldn't have lasted for 20 seasons.
No, I think they just got kind of. I wouldn't be shocked if they got tired of each other. Like, they were together for 20 years, but no, you're right. It's just constant, just constant negativity, the want, the need, the desire to be like, okay, these guys hate each other. Let's talk about it. Here's the talking point. I don't think they hated each other. I just think it was time for them to move on. I think they knew that. And I can't find the interview. That's on me. That's my bad. But
let's talk about the Red Sox. They're better.
Okay, you know what? Let's do that. We'll transition from the Patriots over to the Boston Red Sox. So the Boston Red Sox, I don't know if you guys heard, but on Tuesday night, there was a wild card game. The Red Sox, basically, they had to sweep the Nationals to win the top wild card spot and play at Fenway Park, which, we'll talk about this, playing at Fenway was key to this victory.
Yeah, big
Red
advantage.
Sox had to win all 3 games in Washington, and they did that. They got home field advantage. And the Yankees were like, hey, if we had to choose, which they did, if it came down to a tiebreaker, the Yankees were choosing the Boston Red Sox at Fenway Park to play. They weren't scared of you. They weren't scared of the Boston Red Sox. And then they showed up. You put Gerrit Cole out there. 9 years, $324 million. When you see that kind of money, you're like, okay, this guy. And he's going to get some Cy Young votes this year. He had a very good season overall.
Nick, I picked the Yankees because of Gerrit Cole.
Gerrit Cole coming to Fenway Park. You're like, okay, hey, kind of scary. One of the best pitchers in baseball. Xander Bogaerts said first inning. Xander Bogaerts, who has been sliding. Xander Bogaerts, who has not been the Xander Bogaerts that we know.
You want to know what his batting average was? I just did this under the triangle. His batting average over the last 2 weeks? 200.
Not good.
Over the last month, 215.
You want it better than that? Real scary. Not good at all.
Doesn't matter. 2-run. Boom.
Rafael Devers works a great at bat to get a walk, and then Xander Bogaerts takes it was a fastball, right? Right down the pipe, right down the dick.
Basically, yep.
Hits a bomb to center field, put you up 2-0. Then, an inning later, Kyle Schwarber. And by the way, guys, hey, you want to talk about complaining about everything? When the Red Sox didn't get Anthony Rizzo with the deadline, we acted like we missed out on Babe Ruth.
I did it. I'm one of them. I did it.
Boston acted like we missed out on Babe fucking Ruth.
I will say this:
first base for this team.
The 2 biggest overreactions, that from a lot of us, and I'll sit here and tell you I was wrong. It's great signing from Schwarber. I hope he comes back next year. To be honest with you, he's only 28, by the way.
I know he looks like
older.
He's
60. But also Robles, like that was a throw-in guy they got super late. I
Shout out Chaim Bloom.
Hold on. I'll find this because the Robles stats, I just liked it on Twitter.
Did you see the Jen McCaffrey? It was the Jen McCaffrey one?
No, it was Hansel Robles last 14 games, 12.2 innings pitched, 5 hits, 0 runs, 4 walks, 15 strikeouts, opponent 122 batting average, 342 OPS in his last 14 games.
Hey,
like that's your 8th inning guy. Right
as much as nerds have taken some shots at baseball and ruined the game a bit, they know what they're doing. And Chaim Bloom, again, we acted like we missed out on Babe fucking Ruth when we missed out on Anthony Rizzo, who, by the way, when he got to the Yankees, wasn't that good. You know who had the highest OPS? Who got traded after the deadline? Kyle fucking Schwarber. You know what he did to Gerrit Cole in the 2nd inning? He obliterated that baseball.
Yeah. Wasn't even close. It was a bomb.
No, it wasn't even close. He obliterated that baseball. And you know what? He's playing first base, not really a liability over first base. We've seen him make some mistakes over the regular season, but I'm not worried about having Kyle Schwarber at first base. Now,
you know who's not getting enough praise today?
Who?
Alex Verdugo. Like, I feel like we're talking about Xander and we're talking about Schwarber, but we had the lead the entire game. Alex Verdugo made that from being a very stressful ending because you won 6-2. Before Verdugo did anything, it was 3-0.
Right. And plus, so Verdugo hits that ball all the way to the corner, takes a funky hop. 99 out of 100 times, that's a ground rule double.
Yeah, I don't know how it wasn't a ground rule double.
99 out of 100 times that ball is in the seats for a ground rule double. I mean, the fence over there is what, 2 feet, 3 feet?
Barely. Yeah, no. If you bounce a ball over there, it's usually going in the stands.
Yeah. And then he comes up with the bases loaded too. And they say the stat 5 for 10 with bases loaded.
Yeah. Dude just loves to be clutch.
Yeah, and then he comes up 6 for 11, drives in 2 runs, gets listen, Verdugo's a fucking lunatic on the base paths.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. I don't even care. Dude comes up and just rips it. And then his idol, David Ortiz, is throwing stuff on Twitter. That's my dog. Like, dude, he's living his best life here in the city. That's
really great game. And you're right, because I really haven't heard too many people talk about Alex Verdugo. Another guy that we got to give praise for Tuesday night's game, Nathan Eovaldi.
Big dick Nate.
You know the South Park meme where the guy's carrying his balls in the wagon?
Yeah.
That was Nathan Eovaldi last night.
Yeah, he just rolled that wagon out onto Fenway Park and just left it there.
I haven't looked at the contract in a while. Nathan Eovaldi, I believe, is getting $17 million a year. He's going up against a $35 million a year pitcher, and he
piss off.
Jobbed it. And honestly, and you can have the conversation because this is an analytics thing again, which we saw Alex Cora pull Nate Eovaldi after getting hit once, maybe twice. Nate Eovaldi gets pulled out of the inning, but out of the 5th inning, but or the 6th inning.
I wanted to play it. Hold on.
I know we have the trip here and there with the shirts, but Nate Eovaldi, you're the fucking man, bro.
Nate Eovaldi is an October god.
Mm-hmm.
You remember the Dodgers. You remember the Dodgers game where he pitched 1,000 innings. And he pitched for his life yesterday. His life.
Dude, his fastball was humming last night.
Dude, when he pitches in October, he looks like a different guy. I mean, he had a great season overall, but when he pitches in October, he has an aura around him that's like, okay, I'm going to fucking shove.
Is this the first season in his entire career that he wasn't hurt for a fraction of it?
Honestly, yeah, maybe. I don't know. I don't know that for a fact, but maybe.
Because he's had 2 situations where I forget what they exactly call it, but the bone chips in your elbow. Those were the 2 issues he had here and
bone
before.
Spurs?
But yeah, that. So I think that's what it was. Didn't have that. He felt fine. He's pitched all year. He didn't hurt. He was good.
He was very good.
He'll be game 3. Hopefully not to be keeping you from being swept from the Rays.
But you know what? If it is, he's the guy that I want on the mound right now. And they're showing this on TV right now, so let's bring this part up. So Nathan Eovaldi obviously has a great game, but thank God that whoever built Fenway Park, whoever the architect was, you know what? Let's throw a 38-foot fucking wall in left field.
Have you ever seen
in 2021? This is going to win you a baseball game.
So have you ever seen, you probably have, it's very famous, the Robin Williams golf stand-up?
Yeah.
Like the whole thing, and he's just like at the end of it, he's like, and then with a little flag to give you fucking hope, and then we'll put a pole and a sandbag to fuck with your ball again. Like that is what the Green Monster does to the baseball world. Like you can give a little bit of hope because it's not far, and then now we're just gonna make it like 40 fucking feet high, and so you can't hit the ball over it. Like the worst part about this,
37 feet. I was right.
37 feet. The worst part about it is now everyone in the Yankees world is complaining about it. It's like, guys, it's been there forever.
It's been there
It's been
forever.
there forever.
And I'm sorry that we don't have a right field that's Little League length.
Like, what are we doing? Like,
shut up.
Sorry if you don't have a 37-foot wall to help you at your home field, but you do have like a Little League field in right field.
Yeah,
so
it's one of the coolest
talk
things
about that.
It's one of the coolest features in baseball, the Green Monster. Literally, nobody's ever had a problem with it.
No. You wouldn't have had a problem with it if Xander Bogaerts' home run didn't happen because of that wall.
Right. And you know what? So the Stanton one, and I'm going to pull up the call. I'm assuming that you heard the Yankees radio broadcast calling for a home run.
Oh my God! Are you going to play? This is great.
I'll play it for a Stantonian home run.
Can you find it?
Yeah. I liked it in anticipation of this. Yeah, here it is.
The pitch to Stanton. There goes. Deep left. It is high. It is far. It is gone out of the ballpark. A Stantonian home run. Now, what did I do wrong? What did I see wrong?
What did I do wrong? Why is he on first base?
He calls for a home run, a bomb. And you know what? Granted, like when that left his bat, before the camera angle even showed that thing, but the camera angle made it seem like that ball was on the pike. Like that ball was fucking blasted. And when it left his bat too, I audibly went, fuck. I was bummed. I was like, fuck. But the ball stayed in the yard somehow. That was the baseball gods blowing that ball straight back down. Because that ball, I'd swear off the bat, was gone.
The best part of that was, what did I do wrong?
Yeah, it was sad.
What did I do wrong? He's on first base.
It was kind of sad. And we're gonna wrap it up here in a second. But it was kind of sad. And then also, Yankee fans, you want to complain, you want to bitch and moan. How about you tell your third base coach not to send Aaron Judge on an outfield that has been nothing but outfield assist electric this year?
It's funny because it wasn't even the outfield; it was Xander.
Xander threw a perfect ball.
But see, that's why I don't even necessarily criticize it, because it had to have been a perfect throw. If that throw was off, he's safe. Like it wasn't necessarily the worst decision in the world.
No, it wasn't.
It was, but it was making it. They're making it out as a bigger deal because he was out by so much. Because it was like an absolute perfect dart. If that was off at all on Xander's part, it's a lot closer. And even if he is out, it's a lot closer. It's not as big of a deal. But like you said earlier, he wasn't even in the frame when Plawecki had the ball in his glove.
When Plawecki catches the ball, he's not even in the frame.
He's not even in the frame. So of course everyone's gonna make a big deal out of it. But like if that throws off at all, it's not a big deal.
No.
But that's the best part of that. Was you freeze frame it? He's not even close. He's not even in the picture yet. And Plawecki's just standing there with the ball.
So you're playing the Rays. You're playing the number one team in the AL East. Team 100+ wins now.
I wish this was a 7-game series, by the way.
Very good baseball team you're going up against. What's your percentage that the Red Sox win?
40%.
I'd give it a little bit more. I'd go like 47%, maybe 44%. But yeah, the Rays are the better baseball team. You brought up a point before we even started the show, like the Rays starting pitching, would you say 3 out of 4 have never been in the postseason?
The first 3, I forget the names because I just don't care. Like they've never pitched in the postseason. I think one of them might have like a start. Like it's minimal experience in the postseason where you're rolling out Erod, Eovaldi, Chris Sale, and Pivetta, who I trust. So like I think you have the edge in terms of talent to experience, like ratio, if you want to be that nerdy of a stat. They have great pitching. If they come and show up, you're screwed. But like your little bit of hope as a Red Sox fan is that those guys have really never had a big moment like this. And you're going to have to go, and then this guy's going to have to outduel Chris Sale in game 2. You're going to have to go against Big D, Nate Eovaldi in game 3. And plus the offense is raking right now if you're the Red Sox. So look, they have a chance. This isn't like a big, like, I don't want to give the Red Sox like a 0% chance here. Like they have a shot. I will say this right now, though, the winner of this series, I think goes to the World Series.
Houston's good. Houston's
Yeah,
good.
but if you're beating the Rays, I think the Rays are that much better than Houston. So if you're actually beating the Rays, you should be able to beat Houston.
We got to see, before I make that kind of claim, I got to see how everybody performs in the ALDS. But honestly, the Red Sox, I think, have a better chance than most people are giving them. The bullpen really is a problem, but remember, the bullpen really wasn't great ending the season in 2018, and Alex Cora figured it out.
That was the wheel of gutless bums year. Like, no one wanted anyone out of that bullpen to pitch.
Yeah, Alex Cora was just rolling out starting pitchers to finish games, to start getting. Chris Sale was your closer in the final game of the World Series.
Yeah, now you have Nick Pavetta's going to start there in this series out in the bullpen. Tanner Houck is out there. Like,
having Tanner Houck in that bullpen is massive.
Yeah, it's huge. Like, it fills some of the holes for this year. Like, if you're going to make a run, those are the guys. The reason why.
All right, prediction, and we'll wrap it up.
You losing. It's 5 games. You losing 4 games.
See,
I had to dumb that down to 7 because I want it to be 7 games, but it's not. You're losing 4.
I'm giving the Sox the W-5.
The W-5. That's on the. I mean, it's a Trop. It doesn't really matter. I'll say that's on the road, but
yeah, Rays fans now.
It might also be a home game for the Red Sox in Tropicana. Yeah. They're getting all home games this series because no one cares down there. Like,
the Red Sox offense is picking up steam, and that's what won them baseball games before. It might be a shootout, but I think the Red Sox somehow managed to pull us out in 5. That's just my gut feeling.
Red Sox in 5, and then hopefully you play the White Sox. Just saying.
Yeah, ideally the White Sox. But the White Sox are a good team too. The White Sox aren't a team to fuck around with. This is if the Red Sox make it to the World Series, it's going to be a tough road, for sure.
Oh yeah, and then one thing people forget too, to your point, if I'm winning this, like, they were the best team in baseball, the Red Sox, for like half the season.
Yes, so, they were.
Like, it's not like they're a terrible team here. They just sucked so much in August that, like, it looked awful.
And hopefully you get JD Martinez back too, and he's not rolling his fucking ankle running out to right field.
Stop making JD play at the outfield.
Starts. Yeah.
So let's another good example of why you need the DH in the National League.
Just stick JD at DH. All right, Couch Guys Sports Podcast, episode number 227 in the books. Nick Quaglia, Jared Scali, guys. Once again, thank you to our friends over at MANSCAPED, and also, guys, check out Couch Guys Sports has a brand new sponsor, a brand new partnership with our friends over at Shocked Energy. And I'm trying to find exactly what the deal is with that because Al texted me
CGSN. I just did this yesterday. It's
CGSN.
CGSN, like Couch Guys Sports Network. It's 10% off. CGSN.
CGSN. ShockedEnergy.com.
Couple good flavors: apple, watermelon. See, I told you. I know all this. CGS 21 too. I think there's 2 codes.
CGS 21 is another code, guys. So go check them out too. Shocked Energy and Manscaped, guys. And also check out every single show on the Couch Guys Sports Network. We got soccer, we've got fantasy football, we got fantasy baseball, we got everything that you need.
Into the triangle.
We got 1,000 different things for you to check out. Nick Quaglia, Jared Scali, guys. We're gonna talk to you next week. Go follow us. Go follow the podcast on Twitter as well. We'll talk to you next week, guys. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening.